It's 2:00 and I've been told that means it is time to begin. So let's re-adjourn. Danielle, can you hear this? Because I think I bumped your microphone earlier. What? Yeah. Okay, I'm talking we're doing a sound check, you guys. Is it good? I think Amelia fixed it. I was wondering what she was doing, but then I figured it out. Smart girl. Okay. All right, I just want to make sure. All right, now we can do a door prize, ladies. Jane. It's never me. She's not here. Aw. Sorry, Denise. I don't know. I played on that team with her and she was scary last night. So, you know, she told us that she was going to know everything and we were too young, and then she did not. Oh, he's not here either. Oh. Well, Kathy Jackson, you know, I'm surprised it took this long into convention for that to happen. I know Todd's over there thinking it, but he doesn't have the microphone. Kathy Jackson wins everything at our convention. All right. Just some housekeeping things. Unless if you are a presenter, please stay masked up and or actively eating, although you just ate, so there's no judgment here or anything. Just saying. If you have not had a chance to read the resolutions and would like to do so, whether it be the one from this morning or the one we have not read on the convention floor for this afternoon, I'm about to have a teacher moment. That please go on our website at nfbofky.org and feel free to read the resolutions for yourself in case you missed anything. I know some people like to read them. If you are on Zoom, still note that you are universally still muted. Mr. Mike, we are going to send you an invitation to unmute when it is your turn to talk. And per the resolutions, this is what we have. If you have comments, when public comments are called for, you can write them in the chat and Terrence Seif will read them. If you raise your hand and are recognized by an invitation to unmute, then you may speak from Zoom. Therefore, hybrid, yay. All right, so here is our national representative, Pam Allen, to bring us some words from National Federation of the Blind's.
Thank you. Thank you so much and good afternoon. I hope everyone had a delicious lunch. I want to just say again how excited we are to be here today. And I am happy to convey warmest greetings to each of you from President Riccobono and our First Lady, Melissa. Of course, President Riccobono would love to be here in person, but lucky for me and Roland, he has selected us to be here with you. So we are just really happy to be here and to convey his love and his wishes for a wonderful convention and also a very happy anniversary as we're celebrating 75 years of the transformative power of the National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky. So we are, of course, we feel President Riccobono's support, and I just want to encourage all of you to reach out if you have ideas, if you have comments to share with President Riccobono. He loves hearing about your ideas and your hopes and your dreams. So please email him at officeofthepresident@nfb.org or call our national office. So this weekend, again, as I mentioned earlier this morning, Roland and I are here, and we were so excited when I found out that we were going to be coming to Kentucky for this first in-person gathering. I know it's been a very busy time, and during the pandemic, all of us thought creatively and we stayed connected virtually, but of course, and now we're hybrid, which is great. So we can welcome all of our members who are joining us via Zoom, and we're really excited that you're here with us too. And so I just want to commend all of you for continuing to do the work that we do that's so important during these times. It seems like 2019, the last in-person gathering, it's hard to believe that it's 3 years ago. And I know how hard everybody has worked to make this hybrid convention a success. So thank you all for your loving and very warm welcome. I want to commend President Seif and the board and everyone who has put together this convention. I know that there are so many pieces that go together, and that's just putting together the convention, from thinking about ideas for the agenda, for registration and getting all of the things coordinated, for our great sound team and coordinating everybody on Zoom, collecting and distributing door prizes for the TAD symposium that happened, and all of the logistics that go into putting a convention together behind the scenes. And then convention actually comes, and then you have a new set of logistics to put together, and just be ready. And I've seen people just jumping in and helping out all weekend to make things happen. And it really does take so much love and teamwork to put together a state convention. So thank you so much for everybody's hard work and creativity and commitment. And it's been so much fun to connect with old friends and also to meet our new members that are here this weekend. I want to take a moment to recognize our committee who put together a great 80s party last night. So let's give them a round of applause. I know that the Queen of the Prom and Prince are here with us today. So thank you for gracing us with your presence. And I just want you to know I cannot get the TV show theme songs out of my head. So if we burst into song in the middle, but it was a lot of fun and just great to be together and have a lot of fun memories. So thank you for a great time. I am filled with hope, energy, and love by participating in the efforts of the National Federation of the Blind, because my expectations are raised, my contributions make a difference to me and to others, and I can celebrate the realization of my dreams with all of you. Now, I also, I always feel a special connection to Kentucky for a lot of different reasons. Some of which are, we are after you in the roll call of states. And so I remember when I was first president, Kathy was always there. And I loved being there to cheer on Jane this summer. It was very awesome and exciting for our first in-person roll call. Now, usually we're behind you, but this year we were separated by an aisle, unfortunately. So I felt a little sad about that, so we had to be in the front row. And Jane was not sad. Not sad. But so we always feel really connected at national conventions. It's always a lot of fun. When I find the Kentucky flag, I'm like, okay, I'm almost there, almost home. So so we've had a lot of fun sitting together. And over the years, we've had some spectacular Kentuckians as students at the Louisiana Center for the Blind, most recently Taryn. So we're super excited about that we miss Taryn dearly, but obviously Taryn's a busy woman this weekend, so thank you. And I want to appreciate everybody over the years who has advocated and helped individuals attend our NFB training centers in Louisiana and Minnesota and Colorado. I know a lot of work has gone into that, and I appreciate so much the advocacy and the efforts and the support of the work that we're doing. Now, it is our 75th anniversary. So everybody, what is a little quiz here? So what's the symbol for 75 years? Not gold. Yes, diamond. Ding, 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 ding. Good answer. Good answer. We'll get you a prize. We'll find you a prize. Sorry, I do not have a diamond. I'm sorry. A cubic zirconia, maybe not a diamond. So, all right. So yes, it is a diamond. So just a few little trivia facts about diamonds. Okay. So the word diamond comes from the Greek word meaning invincible, which is, I think, pretty accurate to describe the NFB of Kentucky. Also, diamonds are precious and cherished, just like the gift of the National Federation of the Blind. And they're the hardest substance. So interestingly, the only thing that can scratch a diamond is another diamond. So diamonds are beautiful and brilliant and tough. And in ancient times, they were thought to bring about strength. So a lot of times people had diamonds going into battle or when they were, and also they were believed to have healing properties. So interestingly, being involved for 75 years, the NFB of Kentucky has definitely demonstrated strength. And by the work that we do together, we've grown stronger together. And of course, as we know, diamonds are often associated with love. And so, which is of course a core value that binds us all together. So as we're thinking about this diamond celebration and the work that we do, I just want to have a little question. So, at National Convention, we ask about how many people are here from which decades, if you guys remember that, right? So since this is 75 years, I'm curious if anybody here was involved in NFB from 1947 to Kentucky, of the 1947 to 1975. Say, all right, yay, see? All right, good. That's our first 25 years. Okay, how about between 1976 and 2000? Say aye. Okay, good. A few more. All right, now, how about from 2001 to now? Say aye. All right, see, we're getting a little more each. And how many people are here at your first convention? Say aye. Yay, all right, so let's have a special welcome from we have all represented from our first 25 years here to the present, which is awesome. And, I love that because the NFB is made up of such a diverse group of people. Whether this is your first convention or you were here for that first 25 years, that the great thing is all of us matter. All of our voices matter, our stories, the journey that we're on is important, and we're stronger because of that. So that is exciting. And I met a few people yesterday. Roland and I had the chance to talk with a few people that are here for the first time. So that's really exciting. I know this is not going to be your last convention. And I loved also, watching, just listening to the mentoring that I saw taking place, people explaining what was going to be happening and checking in with people to make sure that they were understanding what was going on and what was on the agenda, and just answering questions and making sure people had meals and knew what was happening. I love that. It's really, really awesome to see that in action, and the kindness and caring that's happening here every day, which is why 75 years is, and we can't wait for the next 75 to come. Now, I know that we have all been working on membership building. That is how we can welcome in new members for the first time. And so thank you everybody for the work that we're doing together. We don't ever want someone to say that the NFB is the best kept secret. That is definitely not what we want. So we want to make sure that we reach out to share about the NFB with potential members, and also think about creative ways to motivate longstanding members, right? Because all of us, if we've been a member before, we want to make sure that we stay engaged and involved. And so that's really exciting. And we have recently released our access to our membership portal so that our presidents and chapter presidents can keep all of our names and addresses and contact information updated. I know we're all myself included, learning how to use that and managing that so we can make sure that we're staying in contact with people in the way that they prefer. And this morning, speaking of membership, this morning, it's really exciting to have Jacob lead us in our pledge and thinking about the words of our pledge. You know, it says, I pledge to participate actively in the National Federation of the Blind. So it doesn't just say, I pledge to participate in the National Federation of the Blind. So they pledge to participate actively in the National Federation of the Blind. And I always really think about that when I hear it, when I hear other people say it, when I say it. Not just, you know, not just kind of being there, but really being part of it and finding the way that each one of us can kind of connect in and share our talents so that what we're doing each day makes a difference. And so that would not be possible. The things that I'm talking about nationally would not be possible without all of us doing the work that we do and actively being involved in the work of the National Federation of the Blind on a local level that makes things happen. So through our active membership, that's how we show the world and reinforce to ourselves that hope is that possible, that what we're doing together in the National Federation of the Blind really makes a difference. And we just are coming to the end of October here, Blindness Equality Achievement Month. And so I know that there were activities happening here and all around the country where we're really showcasing the work of our organization. Now, obviously, this is something we do year round. We don't just do these things in October, but October is another time when we have a chance to really reach out to build membership, to share the work that we're doing, and also to find new ways of communicating. And so thanks to everybody who does that, particularly in October, but also year round in your daily work. Now, speaking about communicating our messages, so in our organization, we have many different ways that we showcase our positive philosophy about blindness and that we talk about the changes that we're making. And I'm going to share a few of these ways. First of all, nfb.org, our website. And if you have visited the website, and I recognize that not everybody goes to the website initially, or maybe you're not, that's not your technologically, you're not there yet, but I know a lot of people do access nfb.org, and you notice how it's constantly being updated. Information is being added so that it stays current. So appreciate all of our team at our National Center. That's a big job to maintain our website and to keep it as current as possible. And so nfb.org is a great place to start. It's easy to find and search things. And so we're always adding and changing that website to make sure that it's relevant. We also have several other ways that we can keep in touch. Another one is our Nation's Blind podcast. We also have our Braille Monitor. How many people in the room subscribe to the Braille Monitor? Say aye. Okay, good. All right. So we have, in case you don't know, since we have some newcomers, our Braille Monitor is our monthly magazine that really talks about just stories of blind people, shared experiences. Also, we share information. We just recently, our August-September issue came out, and it has a lot of highlights and reprints of speeches from our national convention. So the Braille Monitor is a great way to learn about our organization. And on our website, there are issues from way back, many, many years. And you can receive the Braille Monitor in a variety of formats. You can access it online. You can access it electronically. It can be mailed to you in a variety of formats. And so I really encourage everyone to read the Braille Monitor. We have, this morning already and throughout the weekend, we've heard some really impressive stories and life experiences. And so I would encourage all of you to think about writing an article for the Braille Monitor to share your story about blindness, because we are always looking to share different messages about blindness through real life experiences. And Gary Wonder is an awesome editor. He is our editor of our Braille Monitor and would love to hear from you. He's happy to get articles. He's happy to talk with you about ideas. If you think, well, I don't know about writing an article, Gary is amazing and will be happy to kind of walk you through the process. And also just, if you send him kind of a rough draft, he can give you some suggestions. So we've got some really great writers and speakers here in our affiliate here. So please don't be shy about sharing that story. We also have our Journal of Blindness, Innovation, and Research, which is a way for us to share positive research about blindness for many, many years. And the journals that existed in our field or the research studies that were cited in different articles often used, very small samples of blind people, or the research that they did was kind of verifying or validating negative ideas about blindness and maybe using a tiny, tiny quote unquote research sample to make those judgments. And so we, several years ago, formed the Journal of Blindness, Innovation, and Research so that peer-reviewed articles could be published that really discuss and highlight positive research about blindness and also best practices in the field of blindness. So for all the teachers, rehab professionals, that's a great, and just all of us in general. We also have our blog. You can submit information if you have a story, again, similar to an article. We have a blog that's available on our website. We have a YouTube channel, our Twitter and Instagram. We also have Future Reflections, which is a quarterly magazine for parents and teachers. So it's just an incredible magazine. Debbie Stein does an awesome job of editing that and is also always looking for content. I know we have some parents and teachers in the room, and we encourage you again to share. Another way that we stay connected in the National Federation of the Blind on a regular basis is through our presidential release. And I hope everybody has the chance to tune into our presidential release on a regular basis. If you can't join the live version, we, again, I know people share these at our chapter meetings monthly. This is a chance for President Riccobono to share with all of us updates that are happening and to connect with us on a regular basis. And the presidential release is available on a variety of ways. The next one will be this coming Thursday, November 3rd at 8 Eastern. And you can tune in a variety of ways. It's broadcast on YouTube. You can sign in via Zoom. You can listen on Amazon devices. We have transcripts. We have captioning for those who are deafblind, and also we have interpreters for Spanish speakers. And then additionally, once the presidential release live is completed, the recording is available online via our website and other forms. So this is a great way to stay connected as well. If you are interested if you have questions for President Riccobono, you can email Chris Danielson, our Director of Public Relations, and his email is cdanielson, that's DANIELSEN, at nfb.org. And Chris collects the questions and makes sure that they are distributed, and then President Riccobono has a chance to answer them live on the presidential release. And our communications team, we're really fortunate to have an awesome communications team who will also follow up if there's more time is needed for the questions, or there isn't enough time to answer all the questions that are submitted. We also have PSAs that are available in English and Spanish, so we can disseminate those to radio stations and in other ways. And so many different ways to communicate about the National Federation of the Blind. And so whether it's internally or externally, so that we are informed and we know what's happening. And for example, this morning, we heard the presentation from APH about the museum that is there. And as many of you have heard during these last months, and we talked about it at our national convention as well, we are also in the process of developing a civil rights museum for the blind at our national headquarters, and we're working on that. So that's one of the things, for example, that you'll be hearing about in the months to come on the presidential release. So please tune in and think about all the ways that we stay connected and informed. I also want to mention, we were talking about Blindness Equality Achievement Month and membership building and how important that is. Think about all of us who are here today. Many times, the reason that we're here, maybe at this convention, or we came to a chapter meeting for the first time, or maybe you were the person who didn't come to a convention or a chapter meeting for a while, but somebody called you regularly and checked in, and that's how we connect and build membership. In our national level, Danielle McCann is our membership coordinator. And so if you have questions, we also have our membership committee, Denise Avant and Tariq Williams chair that. And so if you have ideas or questions, you can email membership@nfb.org or call Danielle at our national office. Lots of great ideas to build membership and sustain membership. Now, I mentioned earlier about when I was talking about the Braille monitor that we had this most recent issue is in August and September, has a lot of highlights from our national convention. We were really excited to have all of you with us, in many of you in person and many more on Zoom, for our national convention that we just concluded in July in New Orleans. And we were very honored to be the host affiliate for our first in-person convention in a few years. So it was great to be together. I encourage you, if you didn't have a chance, to please check out the monitor and make sure that you have a chance to review all that happened. And I know, believe it or not, it feels like we just finished national convention and that we're already planning for this coming year. So in Houston. So I want to make sure that everybody has your calendars marked for July 1st through 6th in Houston. You will not want to miss it. So we can't wait. The countdown is on. I know that our Texas affiliate is already planning all kinds of great things to welcome us to Texas. So we will look forward to that. Now, I want to mention a couple of things that are happening. And this report today is just going to touch on things. There are so many things that are happening in our organization. It's exciting to all the work that we are doing together. And I want to switch gears and talk about legislation. Now, how many people took part in the virtual Washington seminar earlier this year? Say aye. Okay, so for those who might be new, Washington Seminar is our annual event where we come together virtually for the last couple years and in person. We're hoping for an in-person event this year. And that will be our great gathering is on January 30th, Monday, January 30th. I know that the National Association of Blind Students is also working really hard to plan a student seminar for that morning and some other activities as part of Washington Seminar. And so it's a time that all of our affiliates from around the country send delegations. And I know Kentucky always has a proud and mighty delegation there. And so I look forward to that, where we have a chance to meet with our members of Congress and their staff members to talk about the initiatives that are happening in that on a national level. And so I know that will be here soon. I just want to quickly update everybody on some of those key pieces of legislation on which we're working. The Access Technology Affordability Act, which is HR 431, currently has 164 co-sponsors, which is awesome. And we have one co-sponsor from Kentucky. And the Senate version of that, 212, has 40 co-sponsors. We're still working on the senators from Kentucky to be part of that. And so we're ever hopeful. We never give up. We are very hopeful in the National Federation of the Blind. And so, but we think about that. We have currently are at 40. So we're, nearly halfway. This is a piece of legislation that we've been working on for a couple of years that we made a great deal of progress on. And we are hopeful that we can continue this work and move this bill forward. Again, this would give a tax credit to help support the cost of accessible technology. The next piece of legislation on which we're working is our Medical Devices Non-Visual Accessibility Act, which is HR 4853. And that has currently 63 co-sponsors and one from Kentucky. I have a feeling I know who this one from Kentucky is. I think and so and we this piece of legislation, I know many of us, whether it's a blood pressure or a diabetic device to check glucose levels or a number of other devices that are important for maintaining independence and health. Some of them are just not accessible. And so we really are excited to move this legislation forward and to keep making sure that our members of Congress are aware of it. Most recently introduced was our Websites and Software Applications Accessibility Act, HR 9021, and Senate 49 S 4998. These were just recently introduced, these versions, in the last couple of weeks. We talked about this at Washington seminar. I think everyone in this room who uses, whether you're going online, or well, let me just say this. If you've gone to a website or tried to use an application with your phone or tablet and it hasn't been accessible, say I think that would be everybody, unfortunately. So this piece of legislation, the reason that we want to get this passed is so that there are some guidelines for developers so that from the beginning, we can make sure that applications and websites are truly accessible. So we're just getting the momentum going on that, but we've had a lot of really positive feedback. And then the final piece of legislation that I want to touch on is the Transformation to Competitive Integrated Employment Act. This is HR 2373, and this has currently 63 co-sponsors. So working to get more from Kentucky and lots of other states. And this is, again, those of you who have been members for a while will know that we've been working to end the payment of sub-minimum wages to blind people for many years. And this bill would help us do that. And so we're really optimistic that we'll keep moving forward. I want to mention too that Congressman Guthrie is the ranking member of the Health Subcommittee for the House's Energy and Commerce Committee, which is the committee in which the Medical Devices Act is pending. So we can, if everyone can kind of particularly reach out to his office, he's aware of it from your affiliate. And also we've nationally have contacted him and just make sure, because he's is the ranking member it'd be really helpful to have him on board. So with our legislative issues, we will keep being persistent. You never know when that co-sponsorship will happen. And so we'll just keep working on those. And I know soon we'll learn about the upcoming things the issues that we'll be discussing at Washington seminar. And again, I hope everybody those of you who can come will be able to come be there in person. We also are working on a number of issues, different legal issues that help increase accessibility to services, to information. And so we are at nfb.org/legal. that is a really great resource. There are a number of different pieces of information there. We have developed self-advocacy toolkits for a couple different, for students, for parents, several different toolkits. So that's a great resource. We are also working on gathering information from workers who are working in Amazon fulfillment centers and their experiences. If you've had difficulty in that situation, Valerie Yingling is working to collect information. Also, anyone who has had difficulty accessing like educational technology in school, kindergarten through college. So that's another area we're collecting information on. We're still working to gather information about people's experiences using Lyft and Uber with service animals and without. So blind people using Lyft and Uber, what your experiences are. Also, especially if you use a third-party service like GoGo Grandparent, or if the ride is secured or ordered like through a friend's account or someone else's account, whatever, we particularly want to hear about that. And also, we're still gathering information on experiences with COVID tests and access to healthcare, medical, whether it be at a doctor's office or just medical records, what people's experiences are. And those are just a few of the legal initiatives. We work really hard to have a coordinated effort. So if you have a challenge or if you're facing issues with discrimination or lack of access to information, please coordinate with Jane, and we can connect in with our legal team nationally. Check out nfb.org for the surveys and the resources that are available. And I also wanted to share with everybody, so you could please keep him in our thoughts and prayers, our Scott Labar, who many of you know and have worked with and have heard present. Scott is our general counsel, and he was recently diagnosed with blood cancer. And so he's battling it and he's doing really well. And the prognosis is very positive for recovery. But of course, I know that he would appreciate everyone's thoughts and prayers and support during this. So we'll definitely we are thinking of Scott and sending him definitely prayers and thoughts for healing. Now, I want to also mention, switching gears a little bit, one of my favorite topics, Braille literacy. And I know, because we heard from McKenna earlier today too, how important the Bell Academy is to the National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky. I know that people are very passionate about it. We're really excited that our Bell Academy has been going strong for so many years, and we're looking forward to another great year this coming summer. So thank you to everybody here who's been such a great supporter to make the Bell Academy happen and the difference that it's making. And we also, the National Federation of the Blind, have a lot of different initiatives to support children and youth, and parents. We have several different initiatives that promote access to STEM. Of course, one of them is STEM to You, as a way for states to have activities locally to promote science and technology, engineering, and math. We have our career mentoring program. We also have programs, Braille Pals and Early Explorers, for young children and their families who are just being introduced to Braille or to learning how to use a cane. So we really want to be there and for families and kids to have really positive foundation and start as they're learning about blindness. I also want to mention, speaking of kids and parents, I know we have some very dedicated blind parents here. And so just continue to encourage you to be part of our blind parents group. And also we're working to get parental rights legislation passed in all states. And so that's something that is critical. So I know that we'll look forward to making that happen here and in all of our states across the country, so that blind parents are not discriminated against based on blindness. We know that how many examples, and we've heard firsthand today about the power from some of our speakers earlier today. So we're really hopeful that we can get that state legislation passed. Also, I want to mention quickly, speaking of Braille, we talked a little bit yesterday at the TAD meeting about ways to outreach to teachers of blind students. And one of the great things that the National Reading Media Assessment is a tool that the NFB has available to teachers of blind students to assess reading. And it's something that it's a research-based assessment, the only one currently that exists to really determine and have best practices for assessing reading media. So it's a great tool, and it's something we could maybe incorporate a training for that into some of the outreach that we're doing for teachers of the blind in this state. So that's another great opportunity. I know that we are kind of coming up here on election season, and our Center in Non-Visual Access for Excellence in Non-Visual Access is busy. One of the many things that we do, and this has always been a priority in the National Federation of the Blind. Some of you helped work on the Help America Vote Act when that was passed, and now we're continuing to monitor voting access as different ways to vote are constantly changing in our states, and we want to make sure that blind people's voices are heard and that we can cast our votes independently and privately in an accessible way, whether we're voting in person or voting in another way via the mail or online, however our state happens to do it. And so as we are approaching election time here, just encouraging everybody about the importance of casting your vote. And if you have, we are collecting, there'll be a survey available soon to share your voting experiences and what that was like. And also, so please make sure to share your input. And also, we are going to be, stay tuned in the next few days for an announcement about support to get to the polling places. If you need support for transportation to and from polling places, stay tuned for an announcement that's coming soon about that. I also want to mention some resources. I mentioned our Braille Pals program earlier. One of the things that does is promote Braille. We also have Braille books available through our American Action Fund in English and Spanish for kids. How many people have ordered a free white cane from the NFB? Say aye. Okay, so we've given over way more than 70,000 canes in the years. It's been over 10 years since that program started. So we have canes and free canes and slates, so please, make sure that you're aware of that and share that with others. NFB Newsline, we heard a great presentation on that, and I know Todd and Laura, our king and queen, are doing awesome on our Newsline in NFB of Kentucky. So thank you. If you haven't signed up with NFB Newsline yet, I really encourage you to connect with Todd and Laura and make sure that you get involved. Our core values of collective action, courage, respect, full participation, love, and democracy are stronger than ever today, and are evidenced in this room and our chapters and our divisions working together to promote the work we do. And I know that everyone is familiar with, and if you're a new member, if you haven't had a chance to read our code of conduct yet, but our code of conduct is on our website at nfb.org, and we are constantly making sure that we're seeking feedback and reviewing our code of conduct. These are standards which are written down so that everyone can access them. We promote inclusion, respect, and diversity in our organization, and we hold ourselves to high standards and conduct our interactions with love and respect and tolerance, and doing all that we can to make sure that we have an environment that is safe and welcoming to all. So please be sure to be familiar with and aware of the code of conduct and the reporting processes in case there is a concern or a violation. It's something that it's all important to all of us. And again, that is available at nfb.org/code. Now, I have touched on a few initiatives. We are constantly looking for ideas. We have just to build an organization to make sure that we are promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion in all that the work that we do. And the work that we do wouldn't be possible, of course, without funding. So briefly, just before, as I'm coming to a conclusion, I want to first thank all of you for your generosity and support for this affiliate financially and in your time and in your talents, and also for financially supporting our programs nationally that make the work we do together possible. So one of our programs is the SUN program, which stands for Shares Unlimited in NFB. And it's kind of like our rainy day fund, the SUN fund, but we call it a rainy day fund. And so you can make a contribution individually or as an affiliate or as a chapter. We have a tradition of ranking states in the organization, and Kentucky is number 35 with $150, and if you can raise $50 more, you can tie Montana and Nevada, and if you can raise an additional, you could unseat Michigan, which was where we'll be next weekend, and then another $50 could bump you up to beat Tennessee and North Carolina. So you could rise into the 20s there. Our PAC program, I know many of you are PAC supporters, our pre-authorized contribution program, which is a chance for you to contribute on a monthly basis via, you can make a contribution. It's deducted automatically from your account or charged to like a card. Currently, Kentucky is number 28. Which is awesome. So yes, good work. And we have, if you can, again, just with not too much, you can jump up and pitch with another, about, you can unseat Oregon and Michigan. So currently, your monthly contribution is $365 a month. Oregon's at $480 a month and Michigan at $541. So you can sign up for PAC, you can call and sign up over the phone, or you can sign up online, or you can increase your contribution online. There's a secure form. And then we also have the Kenneth Jernigan Fund. Each year at National Convention, we have scholarships for first-time attendees. So I'd encourage all of you that are thinking about going to National Convention and haven't been before to apply when the Jernigan Fund scholarships come out. It's a great way to have some support. Currently, Kentucky is number 37 and with $150. And at 200, West Virginia, Montana, Nevada, and Iowa. So if you raised a little over $50, you jump past all of them. And then Michigan and Wisconsin are at 225. And several states, including Tennessee, are at 250. So if you raised a little, like $101, you could jump up into the 30s. So there's a challenge for all of you. We're all, and again, thank you for your generosity. We are also still do our vehicle donation program and our Dream Maker Circle, which is a chance for people to make a donation through planned giving. So the funding is important. It allows us to do the work that we do, and never underestimate the amount of, $5 a month makes a difference. It helps us provide canes and do other things that make the NFB able to reach blind people. So I also want to encourage soon, in about another month or so, roughly, will be our national scholarship applications will be available. So stay tuned for those. If you're a student, if you're in school, in undergraduate or graduates, I would really encourage you to apply. And if you are not a student, but you work with students, please make sure to get the word out about our scholarships. It's a great opportunity for financial support, but also to have a trip to National Convention and connect with the NFB. Now, I've discussed some of our most prominent legislative issues and our current and upcoming activities, and also fundraising opportunities. And you might wonder, especially those of you who are here, how this is possible. And the reason that we have been able to, in this affiliate for 75 years and in the NFB for over 80 years, to make our dreams turn into reality is because of everybody in this room and those who are listening via Zoom. All of you are busy every day here in Kentucky, just like all of us around the country and our local chapters every day, staying connected and making a difference by spreading the philosophy of our organization. You are part of a nationwide network of hundreds of chapters, and together we are promoting the belief that it is respectable to be blind and blindness is not a tragedy. In the National Federation of the Blind, we know that every day we're raising expectations of blind people because low expectations create obstacles between us and our dreams. We can and are living the lives that we want, and our blindness is not holding us back, but we would not be able to do that without everybody here. Regardless of how old or young you are, or how many years you've been a member, everyone contributes to our organization by your words and actions. And I want to thank each of you for the dedication and the hard work and the love which you show every day to make us stronger, to challenge us to grow. As we often say, we've won many battles, but the war is not over. And I love this quote by Steve Jobs. It says, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs and the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of following the rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things and they push the human race forward. While some may see them as crazy, we see genius, because the ones who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do." So let's keep changing the world for the next 75 years and many more years beyond that to come. Thank you. Let's go build the National Federation of the Blind. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm too scared to go to the mic because I know y'all are going to yell that at me. I see me walking real slow, giving you a chance. Thank you, Pam. And I guess we can have a door prize. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, we've been talking the whole time. It was still asleep. Oh, poor Kenny Jones. Wait till Kenny and Maria find out they both won one and weren't here. They're going to be so mad. Yeah. Yeah, she's been in here the whole time. She's right there. I knew she was here. Her and Taryn were coloring, I think. All right. Yay, McKenna. We're glad you won something. Well, it's a good thing that the 80s is back and we can wear that with some leggings and we'll be good to go. All right. So when it comes to the state of Kentucky, I guess we'll start with first things first. This is our first hybrid convention. And I remember when we sat down to talk about whether that was even possible, all the things that I had written down on this piece of paper, and I'm like, we're have to do this and this and this and this and this. And several months later, look at here we are, and we have done all the thises, and and we've accomplished that. And thank you to our fabulous tech team for pulling off all the parts. I don't even know what they're doing half the time. So that's great. First time convention for both Lexi and Melissa, and maybe some people listening out in the YouTube realm, and hopefully you'll be able to join us in person next year. So we're very, very excited to have both of you, and hopefully you're meeting a lot of new people and getting introduced around. Everybody here's usually pretty friendly, to be honest. We're fun. We're a family. Anyways, my last first would definitely be that this year, for the first time, a chapter is actually giving their scholarship right here at the state convention. So congratulations, NFB of Greater Louisville. I know you've given the scholarship before, but I think it's really cool that you added it to the convention agenda. It's pretty neat. All right, so I know building membership, Pam just ended with that, and now I'm gonna start with it. So I think that in this time of COVID, it's hard. Sometimes we think to ourselves that we're not doing enough. So I'm going to remind you of some of the things you are doing. Angela Henderson took a group of folks, a lot of whom didn't know how to use Zoom, a lot of whom did not know how to text, a lot of whom were not getting the emails, did not know what the NFB was, were just curious, maybe saw us on a website, and took that group, which we affectionately call the at-large group, and actually made it into quite a thing. They had monthly meetings, they had topics, they had speakers. It was fabulous. And from that, she bridged us into what is now known as the all chapters meeting, where when a lot of us couldn't meet in person, all the chapters could come together, use their resources to find speakers and to find content to continue to meet once a month via Zoom. And so from that one tiny thing, this whole big statewide meeting started happening. So that's pretty fabulous. And I think that we have found a lot more new people than we even know about, because sometimes there'll be phones on there. We're not sure who they are, but they're iPhone, and they're listening. They're not always talking, but they're there. So they're learning the message. So that was a great example of membership building. Another one is what Todd and Laura have done with Newsline. Not only does Newsline show people, you can still read things and this is the way you can access them. And it shows these frequently newly blind people who come to that presentation or call on the phone, that these blind adults are successful and they are employed and they have a lot of experience and knowledge. And so not only are you sharing that service with them, but you're sharing yourselves with them as well as successful blind people. Not to mention, during this past year, Newsline, through the efforts of Todd, signed up every single Kentucky School for the Blind, middle schooler and high schooler for the service. And they actually go in and teach them how to use it. And so I know there's been a lot of discussions with the teachers about how can you use this in your classes and where can you make this useful for your students so that when they go into college and into their work lives, they can still use this to access stuff that their peers are accessing in another way. So that was fabulous. Speaking of young people, there's a lot more young people here this year. I'm very excited. I'm so glad. So last night during the social, I'll tell you all, right after the social, as you know, things were kind of wrapping up, I went out into the hallway and I had a little bit of deja vu. It reminded me of when I was in my 20s and I'd moved back to Kentucky. So I go out in the hallway and all of probably 6 of the 20 somethings are on the floor in the hallway, canes, bags, everything. And they're having this kind of lively discussion about people using canes and when people knew they were blind. See, I was listening to y'all. And it just brought me back to like when Mary and Stephanie and Ashley and myself and probably other people I'm not naming in this room used to go to convention and have cookouts and all pile in together in somebody's hotel room and watch a movie or hang out and have these lively discussions. And I'm so excited, you all, that that's happening again. It just makes my heart happy. Amelia, it was very exciting to see you at your first convention this summer. It was fabulous. I did not make her marshal, but she came anyways and kind of sort of marshaled. or at least watch the people marshaling. No, you were really good though. You were like, I don't want to, but then you were there the whole time, which was very funny. I appreciated that. I told her and Taryn they didn't have to do it because they're both kind of shy and they were like, no. But we really, really loved that you were there and you were part of a lot of discussion and a lot of the Kentucky stuff. And also Jacob, I know that was I think your second convention, or is it your third? Second. Okay. I was making sure I didn't miss something. So Jacob in his second convention and is now becoming more and more active. He's also on the resolutions committee and said the pledge as you see this morning. And I told him we will be bugging him in the near future. The reason that they were both at convention, I didn't know they were coming. This is how this story goes. So sitting in my hotel room, Jessica Beecham sends me a text. She's like, I got 2 of your kids. And I was like, what? I texted her, I was like, who do you have and where do you have them? She's like, I'm doing that camp in Nebraska and I have 2 of your kids. They're counselors. And I was like, what? She was, I'm bringing them on a bus with me. And well, Jacob and Amelia were trying to surprise me by showing up at convention, only they didn't tell Jessica that part. So she told me a day before they got there, but I was still very surprised and it was awesome. So they worked at, what was the name of the camp, y'all? I'm sorry. Wages. Yeah. So the camp, is Nebraska. I'm right about that. Yeah. Okay. So, Jessica had come here because all of us have a mutual friend for a wedding, met them, brought them out there for that, tried to steal them for Colorado's convention this weekend, but I heard she was scared to do so, which I appreciate. It's okay. I already texted her and told her no. She said next year though, Amelia, we have to coordinate so they're not in the same, so you can come there. Okay. Jacob and Amelia have brought up some really good points though, and they were talking about things that they wish we were doing at this convention, and I feel like we all kind of say that. And so I will tell them this, and this is what I told them. That's a great idea, and next year you're in charge of it. So it's a great idea, and next year Jacob says we're having goal ball. I just want everybody to know that right now. Jane is not playing. I tried once, I didn't like it. I'm I'll run or something, but having somebody throw a ball at my face was not okay. I did not like it. Oh yeah, that too. Anywhere it's going to hit me, I'm not okay with. Moving on, our other young people are here. One of them just talked back there, Riley Seif, who, when we're not in convention, and she's going to not like that I talk about her because she doesn't like that, but there's a lot of stuff that happens when we're not in convention. One of which is that Riley has been working on a lot of the videos that have been taken over the past few years, and making those video clips on YouTube the way that they should be, and doing some editing of those videos, much like she did last year when we had convention virtually. She actually did a lot of that video editing for that convention. Oh, and captioning too. Yeah, she's yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. She was manually doing captioning for a lot of that stuff. So just again, another example of how the young people in our affiliate are really starting to step up and be involved. McKenna Herod, you just won a door prize. She gave the pledge. She was our first Bell participant and is now a teenager. And so, like ready to get into on some student group action, I'm sure. And I love that, she's really been able to be here at the whole convention this year. And I think it's really her first, big girl convention, as it were, I would think, that she's been at everything. So, and she's coming to the banquet tonight. So we're very excited about that, Kenna. And our Taryn, who went to LCB this summer, this past year, and got graduated this summer, sorry. And if a lot of you knew her, a lot of you did, because my kids grew up around here, how quiet she was. And she's talked how many times today, you guys? Like a lot. I don't know that anybody's ever heard her talk that much. she's, still our quiet girl most of the time, but she definitely will have opinions. Lonnie Swaffer can tell you all about them, and so can Sandra, because she is on the NFB of Greater Louisville Board, and she's perfectly happy to share from what I understand. And I believe also on the TAD board, Todd says she talks. I'm not at those meetings, but I've heard. So, and our last young people that I want to talk about, a lot of you may not even know this, but at convention this summer, they did a version of EQ with returning EQ students. So the engineering quotient that I know a lot of our young people went to, including Riley and Taryn over the years, and a lot of whom came from KSB, and that was a big coordinator project, which was fabulous. Anyways, at this summer they did that, and Nicole, who actually was here at convention a few years ago, that we helped get into the original EQ program, was there. And I went to see her at a reception, and then I made her come marshal with all the other children. So might be why she's not here right now. No, she's actually back in town, and hopefully she is listening via Zoom. And she has said that she would like to get back involved. So I'm very, very, very excited for all the young people, because I think that's what we all need. We all need you guys. All right, so what we have done in the past year is a lot of what we didn't really want to do. We were all excited. We wanted to meet in person. We wanted to, start having chapter meetings, and it didn't really happen right away. So moving forward, I think we're going to see quite a lot of changes, but some things that we started, we might keep, even though we're going back to some old things. I know that Greater Louisville has already started meeting in person, but I know that out in the state where we're still trying to build up membership, that it's still important to keep doing these, either an all chapters meeting, an all state meeting, to keep doing things with the at-large folks, because there are a few areas in which we do have people that I think are ready to restart chapters or, groups. But I think that right now, with the transportation and everything, that they need that support. And I think that's a way that we can reach out and support that. So I'm hoping that everybody on our board does agree to continue that, because I think it is very valuable. Last year, as Pam said, a lot of people did Washington Seminar virtually. We did Washington Seminar virtually ourselves. And I will say this, there were some pros and there were some cons. The pros being that we were actually able to pull people in from throughout the state who particularly belonged to that congressperson, were their constituents. And I think anytime you can do that, they are going to listen a little bit more, maybe not enough yet, but a little bit more. And when you're talking about an in-person convention, it wouldn't be possible to bring somebody from every single district. So that was pretty cool. I think that because of the nature of online meetings, we actually spoke to a few more people than we would have. And Kathy Jackson and I did not have to climb over giant snowbanks. There's that. The year of the snow will live on forever. So, but, there wasn't, though we had a great gathering, and I don't think the energy will ever be the same when it isn't in person. You just aren't going to experience that. And I think there's something to be said for us showing up on your doorstep. Here we are. We're blind. We look nice. We're here. So I think that, I still suspect there will be a little bit of both worlds for some time to come. But I think that we've actually learned how to use some of these things to our advantage. I know that this year when we were trying to decide what we were going to do for convention, we were on a board meeting and I said, okay, this is what we can do. We can do this, what we're doing right now, but we're going to have to, have all the protocols, do all the things, or we can meet virtually. And I said, I'm not going to decide. What do you guys want to do? And, majority really did want to meet in person. So that is what we did. And I'm very, very happy to see all your lovely faces. And well, not really, but we'll pretend to know they're in the room with me. How about that? And I think, you will notice that our agenda was a little bit lighter as far as we did not have a luncheon. That was intentional to give not only us a chance to kind of clean the room a little bit, but a chance for people to reconnect. Because like we pointed out this morning with that panel, that connection, that's what it's about. You're not going to build membership if people do not feel connected. You're not going to change their lives if they do not feel connected. They're not going to be able to change their life if they don't feel connected. And that's in like any human relationship. So, but very, very important here in the context of this group. It was amazing to be able to have a social again and, break out the picture booth like we had before. That was very, very fun to see all the fabulous outfits. I hope somebody got a picture of Todd Stevens, because if I had not been there in person, I would not have believed it. One year we had a luau, and I don't think, did we ever talk you into putting the lei on? Because I don't know. You did wear the shirt. Yeah. He was yeah, well, we tried to get him dressed up and he was not happy about it. So I thought it was fabulous. Way to, see, everybody's trying new things. You did, and I am so proud of you. I think that's awesome. It really was. I think this is what I can say. We talk about the Federation as a family, and there has never been a year that I felt like that more than this year. Never. And I don't know if it's the fact, absence makes the heart grow fonder. I don't know. But seeing you guys and having everybody jump in and be a part of this convention has been amazing. So there's no way I can ever thank all of you. I will inevitably miss somebody if I even try. But all of you that I have texted today and said, can you go do this, please? And all of the people who came up and said, what can I do? Thank you to all of you. Because this is your organization and this is your family. So that being said, I guess I'll let you all do a door prize. Oh, see, now I got them this time, Pam. It's about time. Ashley, woo! Oh yeah, she's there. All right. I guess Lonnie, Kathy, who else needs to be up here for resolutions? Oh, Taryn at this mic over here so she can watch the Zoom. All right, we're gonna get everybody in place to do resolutions. Oh, fit break. Woohoo! I'm glad you remembered. I forgot. See, yeah, no, I'm glad you did. Fit break, yay. I don't care. You're good. It's back.
All right, everyone. It's that time where we have to, we're kind of getting sleepy from lunchtime. So we kind of need to stand up. Let's stretch. Move around. Make sure you have enough space for between you and the person next to you. We're going to do arm circles. Put your arms straight out and do arm circles. Kind of get some blood moving. Now go the other way. Awesome. All right, that's good. All right, let's do a little bit of walking in place again, because that just gives us Get us our legs moving, because you know, we've been sitting for a while. Not all of you, you've been standing. Come on, Jane, you have to, she's walking in place back and forth up here. Okay. All right, we're gonna end with that long stretch that we did this morning, reaching our hands to the ceiling. Tippy toes if you can. Awesome. All right, hopefully we're a little bit more awake, guys, for our resolutions. All right.
That's so I can tackle from the side.
All right, thank you, everyone. We're going to read our first resolution that we read yesterday in regard to OVR. And in regard to the second one, as it was read this morning, we wanted to give Congressman Yarmouth that opportunity to hear it and be presented with it. So we will not be rereading that one. We will call a vote on it, however. So Kathy, if you wouldn't mind to read first resolution.
Resolution 2022-01 regarding the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation's lack of support for blind students in Kentucky. Whereas blind students in Kentucky who are consumers of the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation have been denied services contracted to them through their individual plan as a result of not being able to contact their counselors in a timely fashion, if at all. And whereas many of these blind students in Kentucky have had to use personal funds for such materials as textbooks, as no vouchers or other methods of reimbursement has been forthcoming from the agency. And whereas many of these blind students in Kentucky have had to use personal funds or other resources to ensure their tuition was paid so as to incur no disruption in their education. And whereas in many cases, the reason these students cannot reach or receive services from their Office of Vocational Rehabilitation Counselor is that this person has left the agency, yet the student has not been contacted with this information, nor with the name and information of an appropriate contact to replace the counselor in order to obtain tuition information or assistance with equipment, materials, or book vouchers. And whereas the pandemic has created an even more stressful and inaccessible environment for blind students, and the support of agencies such as the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation is more necessary than ever before. Now therefore be it resolved by the National Federation of the Blind of Kentucky and Convention assembled this 29th day of October 2022 in the city of Louisville, Kentucky, that this organization demand the agency put measures in place to alert consumers if their counselor has left, and that they provide an alternative contact to resolve issues that may arise before a new counselor can be hired and in place. And be it further resolved that this organization demand that the Office of Rehabilitation honor their commitment to blind students in Kentucky with regard to support both financially and practical matters as laid out in their consumer plan. And be it further resolved that this organization will actively seek to meet with representatives of the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation in a public forum sometime in the coming year to address our concerns.
Thank you, Kathy. So at this time, we'll go ahead and open for discussion from the floor. And for those of you on Zoom, as Jane had mentioned earlier, if you would either put your comments or questions in the chat or raise your hand, and Taryn will make us aware of that. So I'll open the floor for discussion at this time. Yep, sorry about this. The committee recommends do pass on this resolution. Taryn. Okay, wait another moment or two to give folks a chance to respond.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to jump in on y'all now. I got this back.
You're learning how to do this
I
now.
know. We'll have to find out.
Say their name in the mic.
Is Shannon Caldwell, Bath and Body Works set? He's not on. Oh, congratulations, Bill. Good job. Okay, I'm gonna check one more time. Taryn, anything coming in?
Nope.
He's on Zoom.
No chat.
All right, so hearing no discussion in regard to the resolution, I'll go ahead and call the vote. All those in favor of passing resolution 2022-01, please signify by saying aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. The motion passed. Resolution passes. In regard to resolution 2022-02, in recognition of Congressman Yarmouth, I'll open the floor for any questions or comments on that one. Thank you, Todd. The committee recommends do pass on the resolution. And what Todd was saying was that based on Congressman Yarmouth's support over the years, we're not expecting anything contrary to that. So we'll go ahead and call the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. The resolution passes. Wanted to recognize the committee once more. If we had Kathy Jackson, Jacob Hack, and Sandra. I'm sorry, Angela. Angela. It's all good. All right, thank you.
You got a 24. Thank you to that committee. Angela, is there a committee you're not on? Like, I just noticed that when he said Angela. Yeah, okay. Way to rock it out. You know what I said about that, don't do that. Anyways, very much appreciate all y'all's hard work. Resolutions. I think when I became president, I told Lonnie this the other day. That was the committee that I was very sad to not be the chairperson of anymore because I really liked that. It was very fun. So then I just write them now because that's fun too. So we are going to move on to the first piece of the puzzle that truly will denote whether we can pull off this hybrid thing or not, which is that our treasurer is not with us. So that he is safe at home, and he's actually going to give his financial report via Zoom. There is going to be a little bit of static in this speaker because in order to turn up the Zoom to a productive level, it's just not really avoidable. I just wanted you all to notice if you hear it, you don't have to go, Phil, there's something wrong with the speaker. There isn't. I already did that once. Shh. So, all right, Mr. Mike, are you there?
Well, we're going to try this. Can you hear me is a thing I'll say.
No, it's too quiet, Phil.
Can you hear me? 1, 2,
I know I have
3.
to. Oh, no, I knew what she meant. No, that's not what she meant.
1,
Danielle,
2,
nobody can
3.
hear him. That's why I
4.
haven't moved it yet. Hold on.
Can you hear me now, Jane? Jane, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jane? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but the room can't hear you. We got to do some adjusting.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll quit asking if you can hear me.
Yeah. Whoa, that's too loud. Hey, Phil, what if we put your phone by this mic? Would that do better? You're gonna lose your video feed temporarily, but. Okay. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Some logistics. You can do some stretching, chat with your friends, win a door prize. I don't know. We're going to do a little bit of adjusting. We did try this earlier, by the way. We could hear Taryn, but maybe with a farther away connection, that's not necessarily the case. So we're going to try to put that on the computer and put it on a microphone. I said this was going to be a test.
Go ahead, Mike. This might cause me.
No, we got it now. I
This is this.
Have you got me, Phil?
This may cause feedback.
Cover your ears.
But try right.
If you're hearing that, Mike, you need to mute us and just turn him on. Mute whatever oh wait, that won't work either, will it? It's like if you mute my mic. Hold on, we're trying one more thing, so I guess you do get a door prize after all. All right, we're gonna try this again.
You hung up on.
Oh. Oh, wait, so you're not gonna do it through Zoom, he's just gonna do it on his phone? Oh, yeah, no, I like that. Look at us. Hey, Ben. think I should be singing or something. Okay, I'm good.
I think I'm giving you.
I can sing. You've heard my child sing. All right, maybe you didn't recognize what you meant. All right, do you have another door prize? You got any left? You got one? Oh, then just save it. You can just save it. If they still can't get a hold of him, we're just gonna go a little bit out of order and come back. Maybe you'll have another president by the time we do this part and that, you know. All right. Did he not, he's not answering his phone now? Sandra, do you want to make your way up here? Maybe he's on I'm right here, buddy. Sandra. You're going toward the speaker. We've had this problem all day, actually. This thing that we now figured out is a problem. Don't go toward the speaker voice.
What do you think now, Phil?
Yeah, I was like, okay, I realized I was talking in the mic.
Low?
We were going toward the speaker, which we didn't think about that earlier. Like several, no, it's not you. It's the speaker here. Okay, you want to go there? All right. Okay, well, you're gonna, yeah, but not like, it depends on whether they're ready or not. I thought they were, and they weren't. Stand here and wait. Or you can sit in that. There's nothing else left. All right, we're gonna call a
Hello?
mini
Hear me now?
recess. So everybody take a break, go to the bathroom, get a drink.
Hello?
If you have drink tickets, make sure they're in there.
Hello? Okay. I think I've got people on two phones. I can hear you, but I'm going to, let me get off of my cell phone. I'm on a landline here right now. All right, just a second. Can you hear me?
All right, people, we think we have a technical solution. So I'll give you all a second to situate yourselves and find a seat and everything. Ben is going to use his phone by this mic, so I'm going to step away and let him do that. And Mike is going to give his report through the phone.
All right, Mike, should be good.
All righty. How do you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me okay? Everything all right?
Yep, you're good to go.
All righty, here we go. Good afternoon. We only do this once every year for the group. And so I always like to go through and review a little bit about what we're looking at here rather than just giving you some numbers. NFBK of Kentucky has 3 different ways that we can move money around easily. And then we have 2 other ways that's a little bit harder. Let me explain what that means. We do have a general checking account. That's the account that we use to basically pay our bills. And currently that account has $8,458.67 in it. Now, here about 2 or 3 years ago, we began using PayPal as a way that you could pay into the NFB of Kentucky, like what you've done. And there's a current balance in there of $2,246.05. Then there's a third account, which is called the Newsline account. And those are funds that the NFB of Kentucky is paid monthly to maintain the Newsline in Kentucky. And its current balance is $23,914.86. Now, as my comment to you, until we had Newsline, we were spending more money than we were taking in. Things were going down and down and down. Now that we take in this money and we still pay people to manage the Newsline process, we do have a profit from that every month. And so that particular number grows regularly. I know that sounds like an awful lot of money, but you'd be surprised how quickly we can spend that. Now, before we had the Newsline funds coming in, we had been honored years ago with a over $100,000 contribution into the NFB. It became basically a Morgan Stanley account where we had money there and we could draw from it and it would earn us interest, and our stocks that we had would of course grow. And then we also had the Allen Fund. Charlie Allen started a fund years ago, and he convinced people to put money into it, his friends and such, who came up with this fund that is going to pay for scholarships for NFB students. Now, those funds were really nice through the years, and we continue to spend out of the NFB fund. We don't have to do that anymore. We just get to leave these funds alone. I think that all of you know what has happened so far this year is that the stock market has taken a dive. And so your first question is, well, why don't we sell all of our stock and take a loss? Well, the problem with that is we're a 501c3 nonprofit. We don't get to file taxes and take a loss. Matter of fact, there's been a few stocks we've owned through the years where we just have to suck it up, sell it, and eat that particular loss. Here today, the Allen Fund, which has been up in the $43,618 range, is now down to $31,663. We have not touched it. We've let Morgan Stanley manage it for us, and we have lost about 10% of the value. So we're down to this 39,663. Interestingly, the NFBK fund, which at one time earlier in the year was 32,886, is now down to 29,808. Both of these funds have lost almost exactly 10% of the value. Oh gee, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to leave it alone. Back about 65 years ago, when I began watching the stock market, it was worth less than $10,000. Now the market's worth just a little bit less than 30, and it was well over that. It will come back. We don't need to panic. We don't need to touch that money. Just let it go ahead. It'll come back and grow. Interestingly, during this time, these particular funds pay us dividends anyway. And the two funds together bring us in about $1,500 per year, even though their stock value is going down, it still pays us these dividends. So we're in pretty good shape here. We just got to be careful not to, and Jane will say that I'm the worry wart, and I am, I guess, a bit. It sounds like a whole lot of money. It may be more money than you would think that we should ever have. But the idea is we need to use it properly and not just simply give it away with no kind of gain from it. So that concludes my report. Are there any questions?
No questions, Mike.
None?
None.
None? All righty. Thank you all. Jane, I give it back.
All right. Do I hear a motion to accept the treasurer's report as read? All right. Having heard a first and second, all in favor, aye. Any opposed? All right. Thank you, Mike. We have gotten very creative. Thank you, Ben. Now we're going to move on to the nomination committee report by Sandra Williams, and just a little bit of housekeeping with regards to what we are going to do. This year, and as you know, we have kind of an every other year system going on, and this year is the executive board elections. If there is a nomination from the floor, we will do a paper ballot vote. If you are a registered member, you will get a paper ballot and we will explain to you how to use it. If you are a registered member via Zoom, you are going to be invited to raise your hand. No one's going to know. You're going to be invited to raise your hand, except that won't work for that context. Hold on. I have to rethink in my head. That was for, if you are, oh, I know what Phil said. Phil said that we would have somebody call you to get your vote, because the raising your hand or not raising your hand isn't going to work in that context. Is that correct? Yeah. It will not be Phil though, because I'm up for election. If it happens to be that, then we'll make sure that it's Ben. Okay. We're all clear? All right. Sandra? Hold on that chair.
Good afternoon again. As you heard from our president, this year we are electing the members of our executive portion of the board of directors of NFBKY. I would first like to thank the members of the nomination committee. They were Scott Spalding and Kathy Jackson. So thank you again for your service. Obviously, elections are very important, so we're going to get on with this. If there were to be nominations from the floor, we'd probably explain that again. Well, Jane did such a fine job, maybe I wouldn't explain that again. Anyway, the nomination committee has prepared a slate of officers. It's going to sound fairly familiar. We are presenting on the slate for president, Jane Seif. For first vice president, Todd Stevens. Second vice president, Karen Main. Secretary, Laura Stevens. And treasurer, Ben Henderson. You'll notice that's a different name. After many, many, many years fine service and fiscal responsibility, Mike Freeholm will be resigning his position as treasurer. So Ben Henderson's name has been put on the slate for that position of treasurer. We will do the elections. I will call from nominations from the floor. I will call that 3 times. At the end, someone can make a motion that they cease and we nominate by acclamation. If we could remain respectful and quiet while we do all this, that would be good, so we can all hear what's going on. We're doing an awesome job this year. Maybe it's Jane and the teacher voice. But it's been no gavel or anything. It's been great. Okay. So the first name that the nomination committee, or maybe it's nominating committee, has is Jane Seif for president. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? A nomination has been made and seconded that Jane be nominated by acclamation. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Hey, congratulations, Jane. Oh, there was none. The next name on the slate for first vice president is Todd Stevens. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? A motion has been made and seconded that Todd be elected by acclamation. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? I remembered that time. Congratulations, Todd. The next name on the slate is Karen Main. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? A motion has been made and seconded that Karen be elected by acclamation. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Congratulations, Karen. For secretary, we have the name Laura Stevens. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? A motion has been made and seconded that Laura be elected by acclamation. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, congratulations, Laura. Now we have as treasurer, Ben Henderson. Are there any other nominations from the floor? Are there any other nominations from the floor? Any other nominations from the floor? A motion has been made and seconded that Ben be nominated by acclamation. Yeah, that elected. I've said that so many times, elected by acclamation. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed? Congratulations, Ben. Oh.
I'm sure it goes without saying that, Mike, you will be missed, and I'm sure we will be calling you to ask many, many questions. But we appreciate your service so much. I have, since the time that I put out the agenda until now, I have not heard any new business brought forward by the board. If anybody on the board feels as though I've missed something, you can speak up now. If not, do you guys have one more door prize? Or did you give it? I can't remember now. I'm very confused. Okay, well, if nobody else on the board has something to add, we will do a door prize, and guess what? We will get out early so we can all get festive for the banquet. Isn't that amazing? Board members, no? Okay, we're good. All right. Melissa, first time convention and she gets a door prize. All right, so the banquet, before you all leave. Okay, the banquet's a little bit different this year. Some of you already know this. So we traditionally do a plated service, as you guys have likely noted or have been told. The hotel is running on kind of a shoestring staff these days. It's kind of like every other profession. Where have the people gone since COVID? I don't know where they went, but I can't find them. So as you might notice on your way out, there are buffet tables in the hallway out there. Do not be scared yet. Due to COVID, not due to blindness, I feel the need to say this, we are going to have servers for the buffet. What we are going to do is we are going to plate the food as we would, even for Todd, who wasn't so sure. We're going to plate the food as it typically would be. We have a committee assigned to do this. And we're going to ask that people don't go wandering up there and trying to serve themselves. That way we know only 4 people had contact with that food besides the person eating it. And so they will bring it in. They are not taking special orders. So, you get what you get and you do not have to eat it. So that's what I tell my kids at school. When you come in though, you can just find your seat the same as you always would. And that's basically going to be the only change. Yes, sir. No, because you missed your chance. No, I'm kidding. You can. You have to come up and talk into the mic because the people on Zoom and Danielle's microphone won't pick you up from there. So sorry. Now he's going to regret it. He's like, really? Yeah. Sorry. It's just the only way to make sure everybody can hear. We might have to invest in a cordless mic next year. There you go.
I just wanted to say that in the beginning of our year for Newsline, which is November, we were given a goal of 72 new subscribers for the year. And I'm happy to report that we have exceeded that goal. I don't know exactly how many, 3 or 4 over, but I thought it was going to be very difficult to get there. We received 40 new KSB student subscribers in the middle school and the high school. And we were kind of limping to the finish line. And 3 weeks ago, we had 11 to go. And we've surpassed that and looks like we're going to end up with, like I said, 3 or 4 over. So I want to thank everyone for their hard work.
Did that happen at convention, didn't it?
It did.
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
Happened at convention,
Uh-huh.
because I think I heard that, so. Yay, convention. Thank you guys very much for your hard work on Newsline. I don't think that everybody here realizes that Todd volunteers, as in is not paid by the state of Kentucky, hundreds and hundreds of hours on this project. He's always doing Newsline. Every time I talk to him, he's doing Newsline, so. Yeah, Todd is not a procrastinator. I know this because sometimes him and I will have a conversation about something we might want to do, and then I'll get an email like 20 minutes later. Here's all the information you wanted. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, you're on it, which I appreciate because of the two of us, I'm probably the one who would not have done it that fast. So somebody has to be that person. Thank you all very much. We will see you here at 6 p.m. for some food.